Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
He needs care and treatment.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Is this a great country or what?
Locking down the middle of the day, live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in! Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Monday. Means we're brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Got Jordan Kitchens, Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos. Fired up you were here with us. Hope your work week is off to a good start. We're loaded today. Got a lot to get to. The MLB draft is in the books. You're all well aware of that at this point, judging by the numbers on LouisianaSports.net. A lot of you were paying attention over the weekend, so we're going to get into my full reaction to that. We're actually going to have Cooper Sides, big, talented right-handed pitcher from California who was not drafted over the weekend. He's headed to LSU. He's going to be with us at 2 o'clock. I also want to talk a little bit of Saints in the second hour as well, and our in-depth chart series continues with LSU football. We'll get into some of that with a tight end position coming up in 30 minutes. So plenty to get to. Let's get things rolling with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive, presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
Let's start with the Major League Baseball draft. The overarching theme that I gleaned from watching those 2 days, and I watched every pick for 2 days, was that LSU signed players who committed to their value and stayed there. And that is a very difficult thing to get a gauge on in the recruiting process. And ultimately, what happened when these LSU signees stuck to their number, some players I did not expect to get to school, some players I think Jay Johnson was dubious of their chances to get to school, are coming to school. And what you're seeing here could be a transformative weekend in the LSU baseball program. A restocking of the shelves across the board that was better than almost anyone could have forecast. I told y'all last week that I spoke to some sources inside the program, and there was confidence in two things. One, there was confidence that some players were going to make it to campus. Two, there was confidence that the people they were dealing with in their class and in their camps were being honest, were being truthful, and were doing things the right way. I think there have been times over the course of the last 2 seasons, and really in Jay Johnson's coaching career, where players have told him one thing and then done another. They have said their number was this. Jay Johnson makes calls on the scouting side to see what teams value those players at and whether or not there's a good chance they get to that number, and then all of a sudden the player signs for significantly less. And in a pre-portal era, and in an era where now the portal is essentially over, it's hard to backfill that spot. If you think you're going to get a guy because he says, I'm not going for a penny less than 1.8, and he signs for $750, well, now you can't fill that spot. And they felt confident that the people they were dealing with, from the high school players to the parents to the agents, were being forthright. And they felt like they had a good handle on what they were getting into over the weekend. And this is the result. LSU, as I told you last week, was prepared to lose 8 or 9 players from this class. Like, that was not an ideal scenario, but it's one that they had prepared for. Well, how do you prepare for that? Well, you sign extra players. You make sure your class is deeper. They went from 17 players in last year's signing class that got pillaged, you lost 8 of them, to 23 in this class, and then you only are going to lose probably 6. So you might lose 7. So it's a phenomenally positive outcome for LSU, and it's because of the people they decided to attach their commitments and signings with. Now let's go through what we saw over the weekend from a high school perspective. We will get to Derek Curiel, incredible. We will get to Jake Brown, incredible. So happy for Gavin Guidry, Santiago Garcia, some of those guys in the back end of the draft who will get to see their professional career start with a draft selection. We'll get to that. That's the second part of this. The first part of this is the high school class. And as I mentioned at the beginning in this monologue, like, one of the things I love about this class, yes, it's the star power, and I will get to those by name. But listen to what LSU has brought into the fold. In the outfield, you're getting Malachi Washington. You're getting Nate Davis. Anthony Murphy is not going to end up at LSU, I don't believe. But you are getting Lucas Naraki, who could potentially play the outfield. So you've got Malachi Washington, Nate Davis, and Lucas Naraki. That's 3 outfielders, right? Okay. On the infield, Parker Lowe was not drafted. Luke Tucker was not drafted. Jordan Martinez was not drafted. That's 3 infielders, meaning third base, second base, and shortstop. You got 3 guys in. I was saying you have to get 1. It'd be nice to get 2. You got 3. All 3 of them undrafted. Right-handed pitching, Cooper Sides, Friday night traits. Colby Stringer, Friday night traits. Braden Wisner up to 97 miles an hour. Major Osbolt, JUCO arm, 95 miles an hour. That's 4 right-handed pitchers that you bring in. Then on the left side, you get Lucas Naraki. You get Braden Cupid. That's really, really important. And you also got a left-handed pitcher in Braxton Beatty to pull out of the draft. There's 3 more. So, plus you got a catcher in Mason Belding. So you got 3 outfielders. You got 3 infielders. You got 4 right-handed pitchers. You got 3 left-handed pitchers. You got a catcher. You covered every base here to restock the shelves. Because you can't go into the transfer portal and overhaul your entire roster every year. That's just not a way that Jay Johnson wants to do this. He wants Derek Curiels. He wants Jake Browns. He wants Stephen Milams. He wants Jared Joneses. He wants Cade Arambides. He wants Omar Cernas. He wants Cade Andersons. He wants Kason Evans. He wants guys that get into the program and stay. And what you've done here is you've gone in to your entire just layout of field, and you have filled a roster. And candidly, it is a immensely talented one. Immensely talented. Of the players that LSU is going to get to campus in this class, I thought you had no shot on Malachi Washington. He is in the mold of Dylan Cruz. And when I say that, I mean around 6 feet tall. Dylan's a little bit shorter and Washington's a little bit taller. But high-end speed, high-end arm strength, quality defender, big-time bat speed. Cruz is a better hitter as a high school prospect than Washington. But Washington is in that mold. You get, as we mentioned last week, Nate Davis, who can run incredibly well, has a great left-handed swing, can play center field on defense, is just an elite-level athlete that you want roaming the outfield. You get Dom Santarelli in this class, who is as imposing a power hitter as LSU has brought in the program under Jay Johnson. That includes a look at Jared Jones. That includes Omar Cerna. This is as powerful a bat as you have brought in the Johnson era. He is already 6'2", 6'3". He is 230 pounds, and he took a wooden bat out to Arizona and averaged north of 110 miles an hour exit velocity with a wooden bat. Oh, by the way, for 3 years, he will put the wooden bat in the closet. He'll take a metal one out at the box. Huge power that you've brought in that I did not think you were going to get to school. I told you there was a chance, but I wasn't going to bet on it. On the infield, Parker Lowe, big power, great makeup. We talked to Joe Doyle last week. That's a huge addition into your class. Luke Tucker is coming in. He's going to join Matt on AFR later today. He's 6'4", swings it left-handed, profiles as a third baseman, maybe as a first baseman, but a big, long-levered, left-handed hitting infielder. Those are the ones that professional baseball loves. And Jay Johnson does too, and he got this one. And you also bring in Jordan Martinez, who probably profiles as the best defensive shortstop in this class. Stephen Milam's not going to be here much longer. You've got Jack Ruckert in the wings, but you bring in 3 guys that can play on the infield dirt and that all of which had draftable grades and get to you. Lucas Naraki is somebody I'm going to talk about in the next segment when we talk about pitching. But this is a guy that can hit. He went to the MLB showcase, left-handed hitter, big power. I think he's a pitcher first, but as I told you last week, he and Will Adams in this class were guys that you absolutely were going to give a chance to play both ways. Adams got drafted. I think he'll sign. Naraki pulls out before the draft starts. That's a huge piece for 3 years. You also bring in a couple of guys that are good offensive players. Dylan Menete at first base is a really good left-handed hitter. He doesn't have a lot of power. He's not filled out. He's not overly strong. But he hits a lot of line drives, and he can play first base defensively. He is a program player that you're going to bring in. He wasn't going to be a guy that was going to be super draftable because he didn't have a lot of power. But he's a really quality hitter. And you get Mason Belding, who's going to come in and be a depth catcher for you. You got Aaron Beatty. You've got Cerna. We'll see Eddie Yaman as well. And then you've got Mason Belding coming in to be a depth piece. But you need those. But you've crossed off every single spot on the field. You've got left-handed hitting. You've got right-handed hitting. You've got speed. You've got defense. You've got first base. You've got catcher. And you've got star power. Malachi Washington, Dom Santarelli, Luke Tucker, Parker Lowe, Jordan Martinez. This is as talented a position group as I have seen come into LSU through a draft. It is really, really something. And you know that those guys were fielding phone calls throughout the first 10 rounds. And you know that they got some phone calls later as well. And Washington was taken in the 18th round with Pittsburgh. Santarelli was taken in the 18th round with Seattle. But they have stuck to their number. And I can tell you this. And look, those guys all went to Instagram. They flooded Instagram. They said, hey, we're coming to LSU. But I'm just telling you that in the 11th round, Spencer Evans, left-handed pitcher in LSU's class, went to Pittsburgh. They used their overages on him, identified him, picked him. They can't come back and pay Malachi Washington. The piggy bank's empty. So you're going to get Malachi Washington to school, and Dom Santarelli has said exactly the same thing. So this is an incredible position player haul, and it might be overshadowed by the talent you're bringing in on the mound. I want to get to that. Cooper Sides is part of that. He's going to join us in 45 minutes. But I want to talk to you about the pitching, how that profiles moving forward in the program, and how it potentially profiles on next year's team. There's a couple of guys in this group that I absolutely believe will help next year's team, and I can tell you what capacity I think that'll be. So we'll do that when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
GoTro's Outdoor Power, GoTrosOnline.com. That's GoTrosOnline.com. Still time to get on by and get incredible savings in the month of July. You're talking 20% off MSRP for Hustler commercial mowers. You're talking 0% financing for 48 months. All right there at GoTro's Outdoor Power. If you need that new zero turn, need that new Hustler, go with GoTro's. They're the local option, 2 locations, Baton Rouge and Gonzales. They've got trucks on the road 8 hours a day if you need parts delivered to you. They've got trailers if you need to get that machinery where you need to get it. It's the local touch that GoTro's is willing to give you, and it's the great savings that GoTro's is willing to give you as well. They're the National Hustler Deal of the Year 2 of the last 3 years. Largest inventory in the state. Go by and see them on Airline or in Gonzales. It's GoTro's Outdoor Power.
Hey everybody, Drew Brees here. Over the years, I've learned that the best teams are built on trust, preparation, and doing things the right way. That's one of the reasons I'm excited to announce that the Breeze Dream Foundation and I are partnering with Parish Construction and Roofing. Together, we are committed to helping families prepare for hurricane season. That's why Parish Construction and Roofing, the Breeze Dream Foundation, and WAFB are partnering to provide one capital area family with a brand new fortified roof. Visit WAFB.com/contest to enter the giveaway and view official rules and eligibility requirements. Because stronger homes build stronger communities.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Always love telling my friends over at Marucci. Go by and take a tour over at Marucci. Just learn the story. What a cool thing we've got here in Baton Rouge, where the official bat of Major League Baseball is made right here in our backyard. You turn on the Home Run Derby, you'll find Marucci. It's the official bat of Major League Baseball, and it's made right here in Baton Rouge. You can go see where they make 1,200 bats every single day, where they cut them down, where they stain them, where they ship them off to the best players in the world. And you can learn the story about how Marucci went from a backyard shed in Baton Rouge to the show. Such a cool journey, and it just took 2 decades for Marucci to get there. So if you're here in Baton Rouge looking for something to do, want to get the kids out of the house during summer break, go take a tour over at Marucci. Tickets are available at MarucciSports.com. That's MarucciSports.com, my friends at Marucci. All right, I want to talk about the pitching now with LSU baseball in the MLB draft, which concluded yesterday. And obviously, we told you last week that Logan Schmidt had no chance to get to campus. Big physical left-hander, 97-mile-an-hour left-handed fastball. LSU staff was well aware he had every intention to sign, and he was taken in the second round and moved on. A little bit of a bummer, because I told you last week that I thought Jensen Hirschhorn had a chance to get through. He projects as a frontline MLB starter because he's 6'7" and he throws 96 miles an hour. But there's some development that has to go on with him, specifically with the secondary pitches. But the MLB organizations just weren't going to pass on a 6'7" flamethrower like that in the high school ranks. So they took Hirschhorn early on. Also saw Spencer Evans go. He went in the 11th round. What happened there was you got those slotted rounds, and you go 1 through 10, and then they took an hour break after the 10th round. And that's when the teams were able to huddle, find out what they had with their money. In the 11th round, they could really attack one targeted player that they felt they had enough money to sign. In LSU's signing class's case, you saw Spencer Evans go to Pittsburgh there in the 11th round, and then Will Adams go to Detroit there in the 11th round. I expect both of them to sign with the leftover money that was brought over. And both those guys can pitch as well. Dylan Blomker went to the Cubs, and I expect him to sign as well. So you lose those arms from your class. Logan Schmidt, Jensen Hirschhorn, Spencer Evans, Dylan Blomker, and Will Adams to an extent, although Adams was more of a hitter, but he was going to pitch at LSU as well. So you did lose 5 pitchers. But what do we talk about right at the top? You've insulated yourself. You brought in the depth of talent so that even though you expected to lose some off the top of your pitching talent, what'd you keep? And what you kept was real stuff. Real stuff. Cooper Sides, who will be with us in 40 minutes, is a 6'5 right-hander, up to 95, 96, has pitched on the showcase circuit. I really like his breaking ball. He's a guy that profiles as a starter with a really clean delivery. Colby Stringer, we talked about last week, is from rural Mississippi, was a very, very late riser, exploded this spring, led the country in strikeouts as a high schooler. I told you the story that I was in Starkville covering LSU and Mississippi State, and Koki Riley and from The Advocate and I were the only two media members there. So we were talking with Jay Johnson on the field after games. Well, they got swept on Sunday, and Koki and I are standing there in foul territory, and we talked to whoever it was, Curiel, I think, and whatever, and then Jay was set to talk to us, and I heard Jay say to Bill Franquez, the SID on the field, hey, I got to go see a recruit. Can I knock this out real quick? Talking to me and Koki, and Bill said, yeah, go ahead. So we talked to Jay, and then he hit the road. I didn't know where he was going, but the next day, a recruit from northern Mississippi committed to LSU, Colby Stringer. So I connected those dots pretty quickly, and Stringer was a guy that had a lot of helium late in the draft because he throws really hard. He can spin the breaking ball, but it's raw. It's not polished stuff. He hasn't been in travel ball his whole life. He hasn't been in the perfect game showcases. He hasn't been at IMG Academy. He's just been at home in Mississippi, and now he gets a chance to field calls for seven figures and turned that down and showed up at LSU. Huge get for LSU. I felt really good about Braden Wisner. I told you that last week, and he got through. He's another 6'2 right-hander with 97-mile-an-hour fastball. That's great to see. Major Osbolt, I thought, would get drafted as a junior college prospect as an older player. He did not. He will make it to campus with a fastball in the mid-90s. So that's excellent news. And then you go to the left side, and you get Lucas Naraki, who pulled out of the draft. That's a huge one. Braden Cupid, another lefty from West Monroe, is coming in, as well as Braxton Beatty. Let me talk about Naraki first. This is huge, huge, because when you look at LSU's staff right now, and you look at the left-handed pitching on the staff, you've got Danny Lockenmeyer, you've got Cooper Williams, you've got Ethan Plog. It's not dominant stuff. It's not swing and miss stuff. I really believed that Ethan Plog would be a dominant left-hander for LSU this past season. What I saw from him in the fall, what I saw from him in the preseason was really strong. And he does throw 94, 95, and he does have a decent slider. He didn't throw nearly enough strikes. He hit too many guys. He just didn't dominate. LSU does not have a left-handed stopper that's proven on this roster. And Naraki brings that nearly immediately. The reason Lucas Naraki is coming to LSU is not because he's not good enough to get drafted. He's not coming to LSU because he's 5'11". And MLB teams looked at a 5'11" player and they just weren't going to grade him high enough. So before the draft on Friday night, he jumped out. What he's going to bring next year, in the spring of next year, is a left-handed arm that's going to come in, throw strikes at 92, 94 with a really, really good slider. This is one of the best bullpen pieces LSU will have next year, and it's in the freshman class. I'm just the metrics on this kid are phenomenal. He's a great hitter too, and he will get a chance to swing the bat at LSU. But the easiest thing for me to do when I look at this class, keep in mind when we talked about LSU's team before the draft even started, I could go 1 through 9 and fill it out with upperclassmen, and I could give you a weekend rotation of upperclassmen. They don't need the freshman class to plug a hole on the roster. They may have a freshman come in and win a spot, but there's not a hole. I could argue there's a little bit of a hole in swing and miss stuff from the left side. Like Cooper Williams is not a swing and miss lefty. Danny Lockenmeyer is not a swing and miss lefty. Ethan Plog has that potential but didn't show it. Naraki has what some people were calling the best left-handed breaking ball in the high school class, but they're just not going to draft a reliever, because that's what Naraki profiles as a reliever, who's 5'11". That's just not a draftable profile. So that's what you're looking for. I talked about this last year. You're looking for, quote unquote, the flaw. Something that gets high school kids to campus. Dylan Cruz swung and missed too much as a senior. Alex Bregman broke his finger. Derek Curiel was skinny. You're looking at something where they go, yeah, we're going to pass on that at this spot. And with Naraki, it's that he's short. But he is absolutely going to be a left-handed factor. And then beyond him in this high school pitching class, you've got the makings of like Friday night stuff. Colby Stringer and Cooper Sides have Friday night stuff. They're big, they're physical, they throw hard, they spin the ball. It's a real arsenal. I'm excited to talk to Cooper Sides here in 35 minutes and kind of see what his week was like and what the coaches have told him about his role. I don't know that LSU is going to have a freshman break into the rotation this year. You're going to have to work hard to wrestle a spot from Kason Evans, William Schmidt, Cooper Moore, and Landon Hood, who's coming in, who I think has got a real chance to earn a spot. That's 4 guys who were upperclassmen with some skins on the wall and good stuff. I don't know if a freshman's going to jump into that. We've heard Jay Johnson say time and time and time again to the media that it's just very rare that a freshman comes in and is in the starting rotation start to finish. Like Drew Beam is the name he always brings up. Liam Peterson is kind of that for Florida at this point. He's going to have one more year of that, and he'll be a top 5 pick next year. But it's rare. These guys are going to come in a pretty low-pressure environment as far as a low-pressure environment as far as expectation for them in year one. They may earn their way into a key spot, but LSU's got veterans that can pitch. They need these guys to push those guys. They need some development from the veterans, and they need a couple of these guys to break through. And when you look at the talent that you've got between Cooper Sides, Colby Stringer, Brady Wisner, Braden Cupid, Major Osbolt, Lucas Naraki, and Braxton Beatty, you look at the talent in those 6 arms, not to mention Landon Hood, you've got an influx coming here to help this pitching staff, which has obviously got to be a lot better, right? They obviously have to be a lot better. They were nowhere near championship caliber this past year. You need development from the older guys, and you need a couple of these young guys, Naraki and maybe one of the right-handers, to really bust through. And if you do that, you've probably got enough arms to compete on SEC weekends and to get in the NCAA tournament and do the things that you're trying to do. But make no mistake, this was a monster weekend for LSU. And I believe a transformative week when you look at the future of LSU's baseball program. I don't know how big the impact's going to be next year. We can talk about that at the end of this hour. But I feel like you have got the makings of a great team in 2028. Next season's 2027. In 2028 and 2029, with this group growing up in your program, there are some dudes here that don't often make it to campus. There just are. And we said that about Dylan Cruz. We said that about Derek Curiel. Said that about Kevin Gosman. Like, we know when these types of guys matriculate into the program, what they can blossom into. And there's reason to believe you've got some of those types of guys. Jay Johnson has produced first-rounders time and time again at LSU. Jacob Berry was a first-rounder. Dylan Cruz was a first-rounder. Derek Curiel becomes a first-rounder. And you've got some guys right on the back end of that, like Tommy White, like Jake Brown, like Trey Morgan. Those guys. This is the type of hitter that you are bringing into the program, the type of athlete you're bringing into the program, and the talent with these arms is really something. Now, that doesn't always work out. But again, you play the numbers game. You play the numbers game, and you bring in enough talent that eventually some of that cream rises. Some of these guys will end up transferring out. Some of these guys will end up not panning out. That's just the way it goes. But you need some stars to step forward, and you've got significant star power on this signing class on paper, and it's going to show up in the fall ready for action. I'm going to talk about how they may impact the first team and some guys that may have a role as freshmen at the end of the hour when we close things out here in this hour one here on this Monday. Brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Again, Cooper Sides, right-handed pitcher that will be an LSU Tiger. He'll join us in 30 minutes. Very much looking forward to that conversation. Let's flip things over to football. Continue our in-depth chart series on the offense coming up next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Always love telling you about my friends over at Ochsner, and they're always so helpful when it comes to providing tips to you and being a resource to you. Now, in this instance, we're talking about the heat, and it's here, and it's staying for a while, y'all. Hydration is so important year-round. You've got to stay hydrated. It's essential for overall health and for performance. If you're looking to get into the gym, if you're looking to play ancient athletes, or you're looking to be on the high school field, you've got to hydrate. Proper hydration helps support your energy, your focus, your recovery. If you're outside for under an hour, drink a cup of water every 15 minutes. Try to avoid those peak heat hours if at all possible. Run in the morning, work out in the evening. If you're out longer than an hour, you need to add electrolytes. Aim for 2-to-1 water to sports drink ratio and try to go for low sugar options on the sports drink front. Hydration is so important. and our friends at Ochsner know it. If you're dehydrated and you need some medical attention, find your nearest Ochsner Urgent Care at ochsner.org/UC. That's ochsner.org/UC.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Championships are won with preparation, and so are great roofs.
Coach is tough on us about preparation, and Paris brings that same championship mindset.
Do business with someone you know. Paris Construction and Roofing.
ParisRoof.com. Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit louisianapropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding health care forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC brings you our show every single day. They bring you our opening drive every single day as well, and they'd love to see you on Highway 61 in St. Francisville getting behind the wheel of a new ride. Still some of you with that summer vacation to come. If you need a new ride for that, I got the place for you. Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They've got your Chevrolet Suburbans. They've got your Chevy Tahoes, GMC Yukons, Denali's. You're looking for that big SUV. They've got them new. They've got them pre-owned as well. Need a new truck? GMC Sierras, they got them. Chevy Silverados, they've got those as well. And you're going to get a wonderful customer experience every time with the folks at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. That's how the Fabry family has made their name for 35 years in this community, because they take care of the people of the Baton Rouge area. So go by and see them on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Get that new car, get that pre-owned car. If you're looking for a car for your summer road trip coming up, Fabry Chevrolet GMC, online at fabrychevrolet.com. We continue to move forward with our in-depth chart series. That's where we're talking about LSU position by position leading up to SEC Media Days. That's where we'll be a week from today in Tampa, Florida. The crew flying out on Sunday. We'll set up shop there in Tampa on Sunday evening, and we'll be ready to go with Off the Bench coming at you on Monday morning. And we'll be talking a lot of football, and a lot of folks are going to be talking about Trey'Dez Green, because Trey'Dez Green is one of the best players in college football on an offense last year that was atrocious. Could not run the ball, could not stretch the field, could not sustain drives, could not pick up first downs, couldn't do anything. They had Trey'Dez Green. That was the one real positive of the offense. Started in the Clemson game when they split him out wide, drew a pass interference call that set up the first touchdown, then they split him out wide and threw him the touchdown that ultimately was the difference in the game. He accounted for both LSU touchdowns one way or another in that game. It never really stopped. They were able to isolate him multiple times throughout the season. He had a big touchdown against A&M in the first half, and it just nobody really found an answer for Trey'Dez Green, because I don't know that there really is one that doesn't involve multiple humans. He is 6'7", jumps incredibly well, and he's just a matchup problem. He had 33 catches last year for 433 yards. 7 of those catches were for touchdowns. That's the most by a tight end in the history of LSU football in a single season. And I expect him to be utilized in a more effective way this coming season, because you've got a more competent offense around him. And so you're looking at what should be the preseason All-SEC tight end and what could very well be the preseason All-American tight end. And if LSU does the things we think they're going to do offensively, he could be the best tight end in the country. He should be a first-round pick in next year's draft. I realize there are some flaws with him when it comes to putting his hand in the dirt on the end of the line of scrimmage and knocking guys out of the way. You'll figure that out. Split him out wide and let him go make plays. He runs well. He jumps well. He catches the ball well. He's awesome, and I think he's going to be a huge piece to what LSU is doing offensively. What's behind Trey'Dez Green at the tight end position? Well, there's only one returner at tight end, and that's J.D. LaFleur. Of course, LaFleur redshirted last year. He is a legacy. His dad, David, was a big-time player here at LSU, ended up a first-round pick of the Dallas Cowboys. And J.D.'s huge. He's 6'7". He's over 250 pounds. If they need him to be a physical presence on the end of the line of scrimmage, he can absolutely do that. They've got a couple other guys that are pretty big and physical as well. Malachi Thomas comes over from Pittsburgh. Thomas is on the shorter side for tight ends, just 6'3", but he's 242 pounds. He's played 2 years of college football at Pittsburgh. He only started 2 games in those 2 years, made 15 catches for 214 yards and 3 scores. Was a 3-star prospect when he signed with Pittsburgh, but is a depth piece and a veteran depth piece at that. We saw Malachi Thomas out there a good bit working with the twos. I think he's probably right now the second-team tight end. And then you've got J.D., who's probably a more physical presence. The one freshman that they brought in this class was a flip from Ole Miss to LSU when Kiffin and company flipped from Ole Miss to LSU. It's J.C. Anderson. He's also huge. You just don't see a lot of freshmen that come in 6'6", 255, but he is, and he can move a little bit. ESPN rated him the number 3 tight end in the country. As a senior, he caught 46 passes for 578 yards and played a big role for the basketball team up there in the Midwest. I think my opinion on this roster, this position group at tight end, is that Trey'Dez Green doesn't come off the field. Malachi Thomas plays in some 2 tight end sets. I think the other guys are depth pieces. I think LaFleur and Anderson are depth pieces on this team. And if you want to go jumbo, like the Bo Bordelon spot, you probably will go with an offensive lineman there and not a tight end. But if you wanted to, you could go with J.D. LaFleur. I don't know this to be a fact, but I suspect that J.D. LaFleur has got the technical ability to be a physical run blocker. His dad played in the NFL, so you would figure that J.D. was taught how to handle himself in the line of scrimmage growing up. I know he has the size, so if you want to not take the jersey on and off like they had to do for Bordelon for the offensive lineman to go from the 60s or 70s into the 80s to pull in that third tight end or that jumbo set, maybe LaFleur could actually do it. Anderson's probably a year away, but look, after Trey'Dez Green moves on, you could have Ahmad Hudson coming in to kind of take that role over a little bit, but you're going to see a drastic shift in the way that LSU uses its tight end in the following season, because a junior Trey'Dez Green is just not the same as a freshman Ahmad Hudson. So you need some depth. You need some guys who can do some different things, and they've got that on this team. This is among the more exciting positions because of Trey'Dez at the top. I am so excited to see what LSU can do to get Trey'Dez Green a little bit more involved. He was not a one-trick pony last year, but to an extent, he was. He was, all right, we're in the red zone, spread out, let's throw the fade. There wasn't a lot of activity around the middle of the field for Trey'Dez Green. He had some catches that moved the chains, but I want to see more creativity with him. I want to see him stretch his legs, get out and run. He can really run. I want to see what this staff can do creatively with Trey'Dez Green, and then we'll see kind of how the dominoes unfold behind him. But you did go out and create some depth. You've got some homegrown players there as well. So it's not a crazy deep position, but they do have some bodies there at tight end. My prediction for Trey'Dez Green this year, I think he goes north of 600 yards receiving. I think he can absolutely go get 8 or 9 touchdowns again, and I think he's a first-round pick. I think this is going to be one of the best players in college football, and I'm really excited to see what he can do. There was a concerted effort made by Lane Kiffin and his staff to make sure Trey'Dez Green did not go anywhere when they got here, and Trey'Dez told us in the media that he never really considered going anywhere else. He's from Louisiana. This is home. This is the home state school. His parents can come see him play. This is the time where he just wants to be a Tiger, and he will be for one more year, and that'll be it. The good news for Trey'Dez is he didn't lose 20 pounds in the offseason this year, which he did playing basketball last year. That got nixed pretty quickly. He's just strength training, and he'll be physical. He'll be ready to go when they start things up. And my suggestion is that we may well see him next week in Tampa for SEC Media Days, as he's among LSU's kind of headliners. And so we'll see how that all shakes out next week. That's a look at tight end. If you want to read about it, you can at LouisianaSports.net. That's LouisianaSports.net. It's all free, and the entire in-depth chart series is there. It's all completed. We went all the way through the offense, all the way through the defense, into the special teams, into the kicking, punting, return game, all of it. So if you want to read your LSU football and get an LSU football fix for free, you can do it at LouisianaSports.net. Click the Teams tab, click LSU football, and you'll see the in-depth chart series all there for your enjoyment. Appreciate you all for being with us here on this Monday, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. We'll step aside, come back. We'll switch back to LSU baseball and kind of talk about what these guys may do in this year's lineup. What kind of impact can this freshman class make in year one? That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust. They're online at FABT.com. That's FABT.com. Go with the local option. We tell you that all the time, the Hunt Palmer Show. Go with the local option. And for banking, it's First American Bank and Trust. They've been here in Southeast Louisiana for 116 years, since 1910. They've got the resources with 25 locations to get your commercial loan worked out. So if you're looking for a commercial loan, looking for a personal loan, trust a local option that's got 25 locations. Don't call a call center in Atlanta. Don't call a call center in San Francisco. Call South Louisiana. That's where First American Bank and Trust will be, and that's where your decisions will be made. They're in St. Tammany, Tangipahoa, Dutchtown, St. John, Lafourche, Terrebonne. Wherever you are in Southeast Louisiana, there's First American Bank and Trust nearest you. You can also find them online at FABT.com.
Raising Cane's is raising $1 million on National Chicken Finger Day for Chuck's charity, Kickstart Kids. Join us July 27th and help us continue Chuck Norris's legacy.
Chuck was a personal friend of Todd and the brand, and I know this would have meant the world to him.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
People think it's all about game day. Let's go! But the real work happens in the off season.
Spring practices, early lifts,
Extra reps. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
so we can do what we do best.
We trust the lake.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here. When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories,
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Guarantee Health Solutions, bringing you our Monday shows each and every week, always helping us get our weeks off to a good start. If you're in the healthcare space and you haven't contacted Guarantee Health Solutions, do so at GuaranteeHealth.com. Rachel Fricke and her team are just great to work with, and they've made real differences with their partners in the healthcare space. Rachel comes from a hospitality background in hotels. She went through an experience with her mother in the healthcare system that just wasn't pleasant. It wasn't personal. It wasn't user-friendly. It was formal and impersonal. And she thought, I can do better than this. And so now she's formed Guarantee Health Solutions to help bring that hospitality piece to the healthcare industry. If you're in the healthcare space, like, how much time have you spent being concerned with your website? How easy is it to navigate? How many clicks to care? Like, how long does someone have to spend on your website to make an appointment? And then once they get into that appointment, what's their experience like once they come into the waiting room? At Guarantee Health Solutions, they can train the front desk and make sure that things run smoothly and efficiently. They can make sure that folks are coming back for their follow-ups, that you do reach out for those annuals, to make sure that people continue to come through the door and have a pleasant experience when they do so. The Net Promoter Scores, they've seen astronomical rises quickly with healthcare operations that deal with Guarantee Health Solutions. So if you're a dentist's office, if you're urgent care, quick care, if you are a hospital, private practice, contact Guarantee Health Solutions. They're online at GuaranteeHealth.com, GuaranteeHealth.com. All right, I'm going to wrap on this LSU baseball signing class here. Spent the first 30 minutes of the show on it. We'll go back to it. And really excited to have Cooper Sides come on here in about 12 minutes. Big right-handed pitcher from California, and kind of go through what his experience was like over the weekend and how excited he is to get to Baton Rouge with this loaded signing class, which is doing a lot of Instagramming back and forth, I've noticed. So we'll talk to Cooper coming up in 12 minutes. But as far as the impact on this team, I told you about 20 minutes ago that I thought that the most obvious player to point to go, he's going to help immediately, is Lucas Naraki from the left side of the bullpen. But I told you that 20 minutes ago. He is a left-handed bullpen bullet, and I think LSU will use him quickly because I think he's as good as the left-handed options that LSU's got in the program. It's tough to forecast one of these right-handed pitchers immediately unseating the foursome of William Schmidt, Cooper Moore, Landon Hood, and Kason Evans. I just don't know if that's something that's realistic. They're going to be given an opportunity. LSU needs one or two of them to kind of do something along the lines of what Kason Evans did 2 years ago as a freshman, coming in and being a high-leverage bullpen arm. These guys have got plenty of stuff to do it. I'm not asking for 120 pitches a weekend. May need you to come in and give me 40 good ones. And we've seen a lot of freshmen thrive in those roles in SEC play. as a high leverage reliever in the middle of games. And I think that's what you're going to look like. As far as the position players go, y'all know what this team looks like. On the infield, Braun starting at first base. Braun, Kurland, Milam, Park. That's going to be very difficult for one of these infielders, Parker Lowe, Luke Tucker, Jordan Martinez, to break through. It's going to be tough to do. Those guys are old. Milam's a fourth year. Kurland's a fourth year. Dawson Park is a third-year player. Mason Braun really emerged as a freshman and is a solid defensive option with really, really good at-bats, really good on-base percentage, and I think some power that's going to come. It's just hard to imagine one of those guys immediately breaking through on the infield. And in the outfield, you've got Bino Waters, who got a first-round grade in a too early mock draft today. You've got Jason Wax, who has hit .330 at Tulane for 2 years. And then in right field, you've got Angelea, who is, a potential first-round pick and was an all-conference player as a freshman. There is not a hole in this lineup. So somebody's going to have to wrestle playing time away. Like, who could that be? And as I look at it, from an offensive perspective, I think Santorelli is the best hitter. He's 6'3", he's 220, he's got prodigious power. There's a chance he could get some playing time. But, again, you going to sit Cerna or Aaron Beatty? You going to sit Braun? You going to sit Leia? I don't know about that. So you're going to have to get some mop-up time at bats early or force your way to the field in the fall. Here's where I do see some potential opportunity for young players. Malachi Washington and Nate Davis in the outfield are premium runners. They're premium athletes. So, if you need a defensive replacement in center field, like Jason Wax didn't play center field at Tulane, he played right field. Bino Waters is not an elite runner. He's a good athlete. He's not an elite runner. If you need a defensive replacement, those guys can absolutely do that. If you need a pinch runner for Omar Cerna, if you need a pinch runner for Mason Braun, absolutely. Malachi Washington and Nate Davis profile as guys that can certainly do that. So it's a fascinating situation where you've done such a good job with the starting lineup on your roster that there's not an obvious spot for any of these guys to grab. But it just creates some competition. And I texted this to a couple of people yesterday in our friend group, not at LSU or anything. No one cares about my opinion at LSU. But my thought was, okay, all I know is these freshmen are talented. These portal guys that LSU has brought in better show up in the fall with their spikes laced. Because you can't just Cadillac it through the fall. I got a spot. I hit .330 last year. Here I am. No, you're going to have to hit. You're going to have to hit in October. You're going to have to hit in early November. You're going to have to hit in January. And you're going to have to hit when the lights come on in February. Because there are players that are going to get at bats in this freshman class. They may be in mop-up duty after you've already gone 3 for 4 with a homer. Great. But there are freshmen that are going to get at bats. And if you don't hit, they will. Hopefully it's not to the extent of last year where you had to sit older players down and go with freshmen that may not have even been ready. I don't think Jack Ruckert and William Patrick were ready to play SEC baseball last year at a championship caliber level. You could send them out there and they weren't going to embarrass themselves, but they weren't ready to play at a championship level. I'm not telling you these guys are ready to do that because this is a big adjustment up to big-time baseball, but the talent level is real. So Jason Wax and Dawson Park, Cade Kurland, those guys need to show up ready to hit. Because if you have a week where you strike out 6 times, Dominic Santorelli is going to get an at-bat. Malachi Washington's going to get an at-bat. And they're going to have an opportunity to earn some playing time for you. And Jay Johnson's shown he will put freshmen out there. He put Mason Braun out there. He put Omar Cerna out there. He put Jack Ruckert out there. He put William Patrick out there. He put Derek Curiel out there. He put Stephen Milam out there. He put Kason Evans out there. He will put freshmen out there if you're ready. Brady Neal played a lot as a freshman. He was the opening day catcher. So I can't, other than Naraki is the left-handed bullpen guy, I can't confidently find a spot for a freshman in the top 9 of the weekend rotation. You've got older players there ready to do that. But what they better do is produce. It is going to be a hotly contested fall. And some of these freshmen will show up in faceplant in the fall. It happens every year. Stephen Milam did it. Mikey Matuk did it. Like, freshmen faceplant in the fall all the time. And it's going to happen with this group. Not all of them, but some of them. But then you go off for Christmas break, you come back, and sometimes a transformation happened. That happened for Matuk and Milam. Curiel showed up and just hit the whole fall. That's what you get. That's what you got. And that'll happen for some of these guys too. It's an exciting group that LSU is bringing in, and I think that you have set the program up for the next couple of years by getting some guys through the draft over the weekend. So big weekend for Jay Johnson and company. That's it for hour number 1 here. We talked a lot of baseball. The signing class for the first 30 minutes of the show. Switched over to football. Talked a little Trades Green. You can catch that at Hunt on LSU, wherever you find your podcasts, of course, on YouTube as well. Fired up for hour number 2. We are going to talk about Eric McCoy, the Saints offensive line at the center position. But Cooper Sides, a member of this LSU class, big right-handed pitcher from the state of California, is going to join us after SportsCenter. National headlines and Cooper Sides next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Boudreaux's Electrical Services. BoudreauxElectrical.com. BoudreauxElectrical.com. Neil and Melissa have been running it for not 10, not 20, not 30, 40 years. Neil and Melissa have been running Boudreaux's Electrical Services. They know what it takes to service the people of South Louisiana. And in this part of the world, power outages are just part of it. Afternoon thunderstorms, hurricanes, ice storms, bad drivers, it's too hot, whatever, the power goes out. Give yourself the peace of mind that's not going to happen to you. Get that Generac home standby generator installed by the folks at Boudreaux's Electrical soon. Be proactive about it, not reactive after the storm blows through. If you're a business owner and you've got a new building or you've got a facility that you can't afford for the power to go out, you lose all your production, contact Boudreaux's Electrical. They are happy to fill your commercial orders. Give them a call at 985-397-1562. That's 985-397-1562. Or Gonzales location 225-300-9389. That's Boudreaux's Electrical.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Hey everybody, Drew Brees here. Over the years, I've learned that the best teams are built on trust, preparation, and doing things the right way. That's one of the reasons I'm excited to announce that the Breeze Dream Foundation and I are partnering with Parish Construction and Roofing. Together, we are committed to helping families prepare for hurricane season. That's why Parish Construction and Roofing, the Breeze Dream Foundation, and WAFB are partnering to provide one capital area family with a brand new fortified roof. Visit WAFB.com/contest to enter the giveaway and view official rules and eligibility requirements. Because stronger homes build stronger communities.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Nick DeLuca. The NCAA facing another lawsuit challenging its new eligibility rules. 11 athletes, including Division I basketball standouts Cade Tyson and Brock Wisney. The NCAA recently completed a rule change that grants all athletes 5 years to compete, but did not grant athletes who exhausted their eligibility in 2025-26 an additional season. The University of Michigan's regents are expected to discuss an investigation into the culture of their athletic department on Thursday, with a decision on the future of athletic director Ward Manuel coming in the near future. UFC Conor McGregor will undergo surgery following his first-round loss to Max Holloway at UFC 329. Plans to continue fighting post-recovery. Appeared to suffer an injury to his right knee in the opening seconds of the bout last Saturday. His first appearance in 5 years, but plans to honor the rest of his UFC contract.
If you run a small business, you've got to try Gusto. Get unlimited payroll runs and get your payroll taxes filed automatically. Offer health insurance, 401k, and more. Get started for free at gusto.com.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
He needs care and treatment.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Is this a great country or what?
Locking down the middle of the day, live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Appreciate you starting your work week off with us. Hope it has been a good Monday for you. Stressful weekend in Baton Rouge for Jay Johnson and his coaching staff as they go through the Major League Baseball draft, but an exciting weekend nonetheless. Some really, really big success stories from some now former Tigers and a signing class that is going to send a lot of really good talent to LSU. One of that is Cooper Sides, right-handed pitcher from the state of California. He is an LSU signee that will be a Tiger here coming up later on this summer, and he's good enough to give us a little bit of time here on this Monday. Cooper, thanks so much for the time. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, Hunt?
Doing quite well. What was this process and weekend like for you? I know you were a very hot prospect, a guy that had a lot of draftable grades, and I'm confident had to kind of go through this process with your family, advisors, and all the while talking to Coach Johnson. So what have the last couple of weeks and this weekend been like?
Yeah, for me, I mean, obviously professional baseball has been a dream of mine ever since I wanted to become a baseball player. And for me, it was just about the best opportunity I could put myself in front of. And for me, I just felt like if a team wasn't willing to put themselves in a little bit of a risk and pay me a lot more money than they probably wanted to, that then that would mean that I was going to go to college. And for me, I had no problem with that. That's been my plan since day one. Ever since 2 years ago when I committed, I told Jay Johnson that I was fully committed no matter what. Obviously, him being a great guy and a great coach told me if a good opportunity rises itself with pro baseball, he has no problem, no hard feelings with me going. But the right plan, God's plan, landed in my lap, and I'm going to Tigers.
So obviously we're not going to talk numbers here, but I'm just curious how that process works over the weekend. Are you taking phone calls? Do you let your advisor handle all of that? Do you get that information? Like, what's the communication like over the weekend?
Yeah, so basically those guys that are making the decisions talk to my advisor and ask them like, hey, how much can we and there's talks like weeks before, so this wasn't like just like a today thing, but it was talks like, hey, how much can we buy him for? How much is he worth? my advisor, after talking to me for a while, gives them an answer, and they kind of go back and forth, like saying like, oh hey, well is he willing to drop to this? And my agent either says yes or no. And for me, I was hard stuck on my number because I just felt like, again, if a team really wanted me, they'd be willing to put that risk out for themselves.
What'd you do this weekend? Did you just hang at home and wait? Did you go be active to get your mind off it? Like, how'd you pass the time this weekend?
Yeah, we were supposed to go to the lake. We have a boat, and we were supposed to go to the lake with family and just hang out. This is the day, but we went for our test drive during the middle of the week, and our boat broke down. So we ended up just staying at home. We ended up staying at home and just chilling on the couch with the family and friends.
Cool. Cooper Sides is our guest, part of this LSU class of 2026, big right-handed pitcher from out in California. You mentioned being recruited by Jay Johnson. He's pretty good at that. What's it like being recruited by Jay Johnson, and why did you, a California native, pick LSU?
Yeah, and so if anyone knows anything about Jay Johnson, he's actually from my area. Like his hometown is 40 minutes from my hometown, so very close, very local. And for me, it just felt like, just like I said, like because he is so close, it just felt like he was straight home. You know what I mean? Like got there, he was him and Coach JJ were very open arms, very very opening to us and our family, and it was just a really cool experience for me to feel that homey feeling so far away from home.
Now, I've noticed that you transferred for your senior year to Orange Lutheran. I know a player who played at Orange Lutheran. He just went 5th in the draft, Derek Curiel, who obviously starred here, won a national championship, and is now a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. Do you know Derek? Did you have to kind of follow in his footsteps in that program? Now, it's obviously a great program there, but do you have a relationship with him?
I've talked to him a couple times. I met him when I came down here the first time for Orange Lutheran, and he was here playing. And then I met him again when we had our recruits visit in the fall. I got to talk to him and see him play in the fall. So I didn't have like a crazy good relationship with him just because I wasn't from Southern California like everyone else was. Right. But I did make a good one with him when I was in LSU, and I met his parents, and they were amazing people.
Well, let's talk about Baton Rouge. You made the trip down here. What was your experience like in Baton Rouge? I see right now, for those that are listening on radio, Cooper's FaceTiming in with us, and he's got the LSU gear on right now. So what was your trip down to Baton Rouge like? How many times have you been?
I've been 3 times now. Okay. I went when I first visited 2 years ago. I went again in the spring just to watch a game, and it was amazing. It was electric. And then I went again this fall during the big recruits visit, and that was amazing. That was like I got to see all times of the year. I went like late November, then I went early August, and then obviously I went in spring the last year. So, I mean, I love the environment. For me, I always love playing in a hotter area, so it would be nice to be in the hot, humid area. I'm from Cali, so we don't get much humid, but I definitely prefer it.
Well, you'll get plenty of it, I promise you. There'll be plenty of that down here. Did you go to a football game when you came down?
Yeah, I did.
Who'd LSU play?
So the first time I went down here, they played Texas A&M. And then the last game I came down here, I think they played Vanderbilt.
So it was Texas A&M a couple of times ago. It was not the A&M game this past fall, was it?
No. That was the one. That was the one from a while ago.
Okay. Well, if it was last fall, that was the worst game I've ever been to in my entire life in Tiger Stadium. So I'm thrilled you were not there. You may have decommitted on the spot at that point. So I'm glad you didn't. Tell us about your game, about you as a pitcher. I can read the stuff on the internet. It says fastball 95, 96 from a 6'6" frame. But what do you think of yourself as a pitcher?
Yeah, I think I just have elite control with all my stuff. I have a solid 4-pitch mix. I probably have a strong 3-pitch mix, but I think the 4th pitch is starting to develop really well right now. And I think that's just part of my game. I have a lot of pitches, and my ability to control them where I want them, in the zone, out of the zone, has just been something that's been helped me be very dominant.
Let's talk about your relationship with the guys in this class, because as we talked about on Friday on this show, like there are just so many of y'all that had decisions to make over the weekend, and I would imagine there's a portion of you that kind of goes through that together. Is there like a group text, or is there 2 or 3 guys that you're closer with, and what was that communication like over the weekend?
Yeah, there's a couple guys. Like, unfortunately, one of my best buddies in the group, Jensen Heckerstrom, was picked, obviously, and he decided to sign. And I was happy for him because we both told each other, like, hey, like we're going for a high number, and if we get it, then we'll take it. But he was lucky enough to get that opportunity. I'm super happy for him. But we have a group chat where we all talk and kind of just speak our mind. Like, we're all honest with each other. Like, nothing leaves the group chat. But it was definitely like everyone had big decisions to make, but they were all pretty strong, and like we were all gonna be happy for each other at the end of the day.
I'm curious if you've had a chance in the showcase circuit to play against some of these guys, and maybe your impressions of 1 or 2 of some of the guys that you are most impressed by.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I played with and against 90% of these guys.
Okay.
Some big standouts for me was obviously Dominic Santarelli. Faced him in the area codes this last summer, and watch him put a ball backside like 110 exit velocity off one of my teammates, and it was just like effortless too. Lucas Naraki, I played with him at USA Trials, and he was one of the guys that the stuff kind of just jumped out at you. I've never heard of him, never seen him before, and then everything kind of just jumped out of his hand. It was very electric. So those two guys have been pretty like dominant for me.
Cooper Sides is our guest, part of this LSU signing class. He'll be a Tiger starting in the fall. What's your plan this summer as far as baseball, and then what's your plan for arriving down in Baton Rouge?
Yeah, so like you mentioned earlier, I had a unique situation where I moved away from home. My family didn't move with me, so I'm spending the entire summer home with family. Okay. My sister just got married. She had her baby. It's a year old, and then now she found out she's pregnant again. So I'm getting to spend a lot of time with family that I missed out the last 9 months. But after that, on August 15th, I think the day is that I'm going to head to Baton Rouge and kind of get things started. I've already started my ramp-up program with Nate Eske, and I'm already talking to Chris Martin about the weightlifting program where he wants me to be when I get to campus.
Well, it's exciting stuff. Congratulations on your signing with LSU. Enjoy the summer with family. Safe travels down to Baton Rouge, and we'll catch up when you get here.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Hunt. Thank you, guys.
That's Cooper Sides, who's part of this LSU signing class, big 6'6" right-hander from California, who obviously had a decision to make. And that's a guy that if you were listening to me on the air last week, I said he's in a group of about 5 guys, and if LSU could get like 2 of them, that would be really good. And I didn't know if the odds of Sides making it to campus were very good at all, but he did make it to campus. Colby Stringer made it to campus. Braden Weiser made it to campus. It's a very, very, very talented group, and you just heard him. He faced Dominic Santarelli, who didn't appear to have too much trouble with smoked the ball backside 110 miles an hour. But Cooper's got a lot of talent, and if he likes heat and humidity, he's going to love it here, especially when it gets to crunch time in baseball season when it really heats up in June. But he's part of a loaded class, and appreciate Cooper for jumping aboard and giving us a little time here on this Monday. We're chugging along to crank up the week. Appreciate y'all being with us. Guarantee Health Solutions brings you our Monday shows each and every week. We will step aside, come back. We'll shift over to the Saints for a little bit. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge, swingeasygcbr.com. That's swingeasygcbr.com. If you're not like Cooper Sides and you don't like the heat and humidity, but you do want to play golf, climate control inside on the swing simulator at Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. You get a private bay, comfortable seating. They got the turtle box there. You can crank some tunes. They got a television. And you can play golf on the simulator. You can work on your game on the driving range setting. You chip, you putt, you score. It's all there at Swing Easy Golf Club. And oh, by the way, they got cold beers and seltzers in there as well as wine. So if you want to get a drink while you're there, you can do it. It's open 7 days a week. You can go at lunch. You can go after work. You can go in the evening hours. Right there on Segan at Perkins. Swing Easy Golf Club. They're online at swingeasygcbr.com.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me. Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here, helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
One Bath and Closets, onebathandclosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. This is something that we've been telling you the last couple of weeks. It's something that David really emphasized to me when we sat down and had our last meeting. He said, look, what he's seeing is that people neglect imperfections in a shower, in a bathtub. It's a little crack, whatever, I'll deal with it later. Well, then you don't deal with it, and there's running water. And water gets where it's not supposed to be. And water's got to go somewhere. And if you just let that crack sit there, how much damage is being done that you can't see? To the wall, to floors, to ceilings, dry rot, mold, wet rot. Like, it can be a significant problem that you're not even aware of because you didn't take the time to fix what you believe to be a small problem. If you've got a crack in your shower, if you've got a crack in your tub, call One Bath and Closets and let David come out and look at it. He will survey the situation. He'll tell you what's the best course of action. But just sitting there and saying, it's just a small crack, water can be a big, big problem. And it can get really expensive really quickly. So call One Bath and Closets, have David come out, and he may be able to stop the problem and fix it quickly. That's the goal. You get that free consultation with David at onebathandclosets.com. Financing options are available, 0% up to 18 months, same as cash. It's One Bath and Closets. Find them online at onebathandclosets.com. All right, last week we were going through the ESPN.com top 10 players at each position in the NFL. And Jordan and I were kicking it back and forth, and we said, look, the only guy that the Saints may have on this is Eric McCoy. Like, he's their only hope. And today, the top 10 interior offensive linemen came out, which includes guards and centers. And McCoy didn't make it. He was way down the list of like honorable mention beyond like second. So he was like 20th on the list. So the Saints aren't going to have anybody on it. But it got me thinking about Eric McCoy's importance to the team. And I pulled up the Pro Football Focus grades. And again, I understand that some people don't like Pro Football Focus. But the point that I'm making with this statistic and these grades will sink in whether you think it's the gospel or it's stupid. When I pulled up the blocking metrics for the Saints last year, Eric McCoy is at the top of the list. Now, he only played 7 games, but he's number 1 on the list. His overall blocking grade was a 67.9, so about 68. His run blocking was 62.2, which is mediocre. It's not bad, but it's not great. And his pass blocking is 84.1, which is elite. It's the best on the team by a sizable margin. Like, the next offensive lineman in pass protection that you would get to is Cesar Ruiz, who's 11 points lower. Eric McCoy is the highest graded blocker on the Saints roster from last year. Now, who is the Saints' second team center? Well, last year was Luke Fortner. This year is probably Torricelli Simpkins. Do you want to know what Torricelli Simpkins' blocking grades were on Pro Football Focus last year? Again, McCoy, 67.9 overall, 62.2 against the run, 84.1 in the pass blocking. Good grades. Torricelli Simpkins' overall blocking grade was a 37.4. His run blocking grade was a 59.6. His pass blocking grade, and this is not like he had 3 snaps. No, again, in pass protection, he had 108 snaps. His pass blocking grade was a 9.6. 9.6.
Hold up.
9.6. Like the Ferris Bueller line. Nine times.
So we're talking about a professional NFL player.
He gave up 10 hurries and 12 pressures in 108 snaps. So 1 out of every 10, he's got the quarterback out the drive.
Holy smokes. And this guy's employed by us still?
And he's at guard on the interior. Like, it's not like tackle where you don't have any help. Like, you got help at guard. Yeah. You just can't stay in front of anybody. So the point I'm making here is not to suggest that Torricelli Simpkins is the worst player in NFL history. He was a rookie. I'm sure he will improve. But the point is that Eric McCoy has got to play 14 games this year. I'll cut him a slack of 3. He's got to play 14 games.
We will want that. If you want a successful season, you'll want that.
It just has to happen. The last 2 years, he hasn't been able to do it. And I get it. It's a position prone to injuries. The 2 teams we cover here every single day are the Saints and LSU. And Eric McCoy and Braylon Moore were hurt all year last year. Moore went out there and gutted it out for LSU and was hurt, and McCoy couldn't play. And it just matters. When you don't have your dude in the middle, especially when he's one of the top, I'll be conservative, when he's one of the top 10 centers in the NFL, he's probably one of the top 5 centers in the NFL when he's healthy. But if he's one of the top 10 centers in the NFL, you need that guy out there. It just makes a difference. You're trying to get a new quarterback to get his legs under him. You need to get everybody on the same page. You need to make sure that your protections are set up. You need to be in rhythm, and you just need your center out there. And I don't care if ESPN.com ranks him outside the top 10 interior offensive linemen in the NFL. Like, what do I care? I just know that when I go to the Pro Football Focus grades, bam, he's at the top, and Torricelli Simpkins is at the bottom. And I know that when you go to his last healthy seasons, he's a Pro Bowl caliber player that you drafted, you identified, you brought in, you got into the lineup, and he blossomed into one of the better players at his position in the NFL. This team, this roster at that position, you've got to have your best dudes available. And you're just not going to be able to create the necessary depth on the offensive line to offset these ridiculous injury rashes. Again, you have to find a way to keep him healthy. And maybe you just have to be lucky. Maybe I shouldn't say you have to find a way. You have to find a way to drive in a run with less than 2 outs. You have to find a way to run the football. You can't find a way to keep somebody healthy. You just need that to happen. And they need some good football fortune. They need Eric McCoy to stay healthy. They just need it so badly because what they've got behind him is just not going to be. They cannot go to war again. That's a very poor use of that term. I realize people hate that now. It's just an old cliche. They cannot go into games with Torricelli Simpkins and Dylan Radins out there more often. That's just not. It's next man up. I get the football cliche. I get the macho football guys want to say that. The next man up's not as good. So they need him healthy. It's got to happen.
It does. And when I really think about his impact being missed, people forget the Saints were winning that Eagles game back in 2024 when Kellen Moore was the offensive coordinator with the Eagles. And
that's when they were playing good football.
They were playing good football. You know, Derek Carr had the murder rate down. It was looking like the Saints are finna do something, right? And that was the game he got hurt. That was the game Eric McCoy got hurt. Carted off. Jalen Carter just goes ham the whole second half. Yep. Basically, the Eagles' D-line was all you can eat buffet. You had the guards running into each other. Nobody can do anything. And the win from the Saints sales went away. And we know how the rest of that season played out. So when you have a guy like that where in a game where he's missed like that and you just fall apart, that just shows his importance. And if the Saints want to have, again, a successful season with all these expectations, you need your captain in the middle of your line, the veteran presence in the middle of your line. You're going to need him there. You have a lot of young guys.
And I'm looking at McCoy's Pro Football Reference page, not Focus Reference, where it gives you his statistics. And I'm looking back. He was a durable player early in his career. As a rookie, 16 games, every game. As a second-year player in 2020, 16 games. And then you just started to see some injuries crop up. 12 games in 21, 13 games in 22. Then he played 17 games in 2023 as a 26-year-old and made the Pro Bowl. And then the last 2 years, 7-7. So he's played now 8 years in the NFL. And to this point, 7 years in the NFL. To this point, 3 of them have been unmarred by injury, and one of them was he only missed 3 games. But the last 2 years have been a significant problem. And this is not something like, there's a part of me when I prepped this segment and started thinking about the impact he has and thinking about the angle to talk about it with, there's part of me that goes, you're not analyzing anything if you're just suggesting, hey, the center needs to stay healthy. But the fact of the matter is that, like, they can handle injuries at some places. There are some places on the roster where if you had an injury, it just wouldn't derail everything. Like, if Devon Vele got hurt, I don't know that you'd have to cancel the offense. I don't know that losing Juwan Johnson would just be some death blow to the offense. I'd rather have both of them than not have them. But center's not one of these places. You can't handle injury at center again this year. I will, as I said at the top, I will grant him 2 or 3 games where he's hurt. Hopefully you can stay afloat. Well, the famous Buddy D line from down there in New Orleans, when teams don't have their starting center, they never cover. It's a big deal. McCoy's, maybe the point is not to say he doesn't need to get hurt. Maybe the point is to say that Eric McCoy's presence on this team in the middle of that offensive line is vital to their achieving whatever the ceiling is on this team. I would suggest the ceiling on this team is probably hosting a playoff game and winning it. That's probably the ceiling that I would put on this team. You can choose to do with that whatever you will. But for the Saints to reach that ceiling, to be a 9 or 10 win team that does that, he needs to play. And that's the importance. He needs to play well. He's right there at the back end of his prime at 29 years old in the middle of the offensive line. He's not running wind sprints. He'd have to be the quickest guy in the league. He needs to be on time, be technically sound, and be upright. And right now, he is. Let's hope that continues into training camp because, yeah, a grade of 9 on Pro Football Focus for Torricelli Simpkins, that's not what we're looking for in week 4, okay? We're looking for Eric McCoy to be in the middle, playing at the Pro Bowl level that he played at 2 years ago and 3 years ago. We'll see. That's our look at the New Orleans Saints. If you want Saints content, you can find it. Search Hunt on Saints. That's my Saints channel. All of our Saints coverage all year round is right there. You can search it on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. We appreciate y'all. Saints are close to reporting, y'all. It's just a couple of weeks away. We're going to go through this week, and then we'll have SEC Media Days, and the Saints will be on the practice field as we're in Tampa. So very, very excited to get into football season in earnest. We've got the Major League Baseball draft behind us. Now it's time to really embrace football. There's not a lot going on outside of that. So excited to get into that and some more Saints talk as we move forward into the back end of the summer. Come back. Got 30 minutes left to go. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing, LifetimeRoofingLA.com. LifetimeRoofingLA.com is that website. Look, they do roofs, obviously. It's in the name, Lifetime Roofing. You can find them at LifetimeRoofingLA.com. That's not all they do. They do a lot of other work on the exterior of your home. Need gutters? Lifetime Roofing does gutters. You need siding? Lifetime Roofing does siding. You need windows? Lifetime Roofing does windows. You can knock it all out at once. You want to roll all that into one buy, finance it all together? You can do it at Lifetime Roofing. It is storm season. If you need a fortification, you need a tune-up for your roof to make sure you're ready for those storms that could blow through here later this summer, Lifetime Roofing is happy to do that. Have them do an inspection. They'll tell you what the best course of action will be. They're online at LifetimeRoofingLA.com. That's LifetimeRoofingLA.com.
Raising Cane's is honoring Chuck Norris on National Chicken Finger Day. For every box combo sold on July 27th, Cane's is donating $1 to Chuck's Foundation, Kickstart Kids.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last. Because in Louisiana, toughness isn't just on the court, it's in your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you'll likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Hanging out here on a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Appreciate y'all being with us. Hope your work week's off to a good start. Had a great chat with Cooper Sides, LSU baseball signee who was not drafted over the weekend. He will be an LSU Tiger. He chatted with us at 2 o'clock. You can already catch that on demand. It's up on the 104.5 ESPN Twitter page. Just went up, I saw. So you can check that out if you want to hear what the young man had to say. Impressive stuff, and he's really excited to get down to Baton Rouge and start his career. I do want to spend some time. We've talked about the high school signees for about an hour today, and so I want to move on to the former Tigers now that were taken over the weekend. What an incredible bet on himself by Derek Curiel, and then the result. I wrote this in my piece at LouisianaSports.net. It's so rare that a plan actually works out the way that you envisioned it in your head. And Derek Curiel came on this show as a guest when he pulled his name out of the draft a couple of years ago. He said, I still remember talking to him. He said, I haven't gotten my man body yet. Like, I'm skinny, and I just feel like I have some development to do. And so he pulled out. He would have been a top 60 pick in that draft. I don't know what his number would have been, but like, if you were just going off baseball players, he'd have been a top 60 pick in that draft. He may have been a top 30 pick in that draft. He's been a famous prospect for a long time because of his bat-to-ball skills. But he looked at that and said, no, I'm going to go to LSU, and I'm going to play college baseball. I'm going to develop, and I'm going to be a first-round pick. And my wife can attest to this. I had the Derek Curiel story written before the draft even started, and then I was just going to fill in where he was picked and add a little color with the organization, right? When he went fifth, and I was watching the draft, and they went, with the fifth pick, the Pirates select Derek Curiel, I was on my couch, and I go, whoa, I didn't have him fifth. I was thinking somewhere around 12. Because fifth, that's Von Lackey territory. He went third with prodigious power. Fifth, for a guy that doesn't hit with a lot of power was stunning to me. But it's an incredible story. The slot value on the 5th pick is $8.34 million for Derek Curiel. And you would imagine he will get right at that. And so for him, that's a perfect illustration of a story. Pull out of the draft, go to college, develop, oh, by the way, win a national championship, and come out on the other side as a first-round pick. Reminds me of some other guys that followed that trajectory. Dylan Cruz followed that trajectory. Kevin Gausman followed that trajectory. Doesn't work out for everybody. I heard Cam Johnson's name go almost in the 20th round yesterday. I don't know if it was like the 18th or 19th round. He was a guy that we thought was a potential second-round pick, and he just never really found it in 3 years of college. But Derek Curiel certainly did, and that's an amazing story. I'm a little bummed out, y'all. A little bummed out. And we got Paul Skeens with the Pirates, and we got Derek Curiel with the Pirates. That's my division. These are Tiger champions. I'm a big fan, but I can't have him beating the Cubs. So if Derek gets up there pretty quickly and plays with Skeens, that's a great story, but not against my red and blue. But awesome stuff for Derek Curiel to go there, and we didn't have to wait too long to hear Jake Brown's name as well. I'm not sure where Jake Brown would have gone had he not broken his hand, but in any event, he goes number 64 overall in the second round. Seattle takes him. $1.38 million is the slot. And how about this? Speaking of stories, 3 years ago, the top two players, left-handed pitchers in the state of Louisiana were Cade Anderson and Jake Brown. And Cade Anderson and Jake Brown, 2 and 3 years later, go to the same organization for $10 million total. Just incredible, incredible stuff. 2 Louisiana kids go to LSU, win a national championship. Bam, both millionaires for the same organization. Great stuff for Jake, who always carried himself so professionally with such a great way about him. We got to talk to Jake a lot early this season after games because he kept hitting homers and they kept sending him out for interviews. He's got a great personality. He's always smiling and laughing. He loves playing for LSU, and that is a kid. And I say this, I mean it so sincerely, who could have thrown a fit last year. He is a second-round pick, by definition, $1 million talent in the Major League Draft, and he essentially sat behind Josh Pearson every time a team threw a left-hander. Josh Pearson, I don't even think he's playing baseball anymore. He is $1 million talent, and he did not complain. He gave Josh Pearson a standing ovation in that super regional at bat that Pearson took. It takes a special guy to be like that on a championship team. Because when you're a guy that can sign for $1.3 million like Jake Brown just did, you need at-bats because every at-bat could be dollar signs. Because a guy that can sign for 1.3, 3.3 is out there. And you're not going to get 3.3 with Josh Pearson in the box and you in the dugout. And Jake just didn't complain about it. He just wanted to be part of the team. And guess what? In the College World Series, he did not start the Arkansas game against Zach Root. Game 1, Omaha. LSU, Arkansas. In the College World Series. Josh Pearson's in the lineup. But later in the game, it's time to pinch hit. And Jay Johnson goes to Jake Brown, who's not pouting because Josh Pearson's in the lineup against Zach Root. He grabs a bat, hits for Stanfield, and pumps a 2-run single into left center field off one of the best relievers in the country. That is an incredible story about a dude who did things the right way. And he earned every cent that he'll get from Seattle, and hopefully that's a guy that can make the show with Cade Anderson. I don't have a problem pulling for those two guys in the same team. Pirates, that's my division. But that wasn't it for LSU. Devin Sheeran taken off the board, number 128 to Philadelphia. His slot is just a hair under 600,000. I think Sheeran will get a chance to to start immediately. I think he settles into a bullpen role because of his delivery. But that's a guy who's got the ability to make the big leagues. I think Devin Sheeran will pitch in the majors. I think he's got the ability to do that. The fastball's got a lot of spin to it and tumbles. And then he's got what I think can be a better slider than the one he threw this year. And if he can keep that velocity where it is, that max effort delivery, and that everything coming at the hitter, I think he can be a major league reliever. Grant Fontenot, I think he's got a chance to make a big league team. He goes to Kansas City, $299 overall. That slot value just under $200,000. Now Grant Fontenot went through a lot. He went to 3 different schools, dropped down a level, tried LSU twice, pitched at Texas, kept it moving, and by the end of the season was LSU's second best reliever. And it's great that he gets an opportunity to do that. We told you last week if you thought Santiago Garcia would be drafted and signed, have every anticipation he will do that. Garcia goes 372nd overall. There are no slots at that point, so it's just whatever teams are willing to pay you. The baseline is generally $150,000, but you can certainly go below that. Anything you go over $150,000, you got to take out of your bonus pool at that point. So Garcia goes 372 to Toronto. Connor Benj drafted 385 to Miami. I know a lot of people kind of raise their eyebrow. Y'all realize that Connor Benj does throw 96 miles an hour and spins the ball pretty well with the slider. I'm not betting on Connor Benj being a big league pitcher, but he is a draftable prospect and certainly was at 385. Gavin Guidry was really looking to start his professional career. The Mets gave him a phone call with the 480th selection, so he will start his career with the New York Mets. Gavin's he went up there to Cape Cod and struck some guys out. It wasn't always the prettiest up on Cape Cod, but he struck some guys out and did get enough eyeballs, so he will be a member of the Mets organization. He'll move on, and Zach Cowan will move on as well. He was obviously a senior. The Cleveland Guardians selected him 573 overall to finish out the LSU rosters. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys selected off LSU's roster that will start their professional careers. People have asked me, especially as it looked like LSU was going to hold on to like the lion's share of this class until a couple guys got picked off there, and then we don't think that Mitchell's going to make it to LSU. How is LSU with numbers? I'm not going to get into exact numbers, but just know this, because I don't know them exactly, because there are some DSAs, some designated student athletes, and we don't know who those are. But LSU is not going to have to cut anybody. You look at where they are from a roster numbers perspective. They've got DSAs on their team. That's a designated student athlete. When they changed the rules to how many scholarship athletes you could have, if there was a player in your program that was going to have to be cut, you could designate them as a student athlete and grandfather them in basically for a short period of time. That's what LSU is going to be able to do. Enough guys got picked off this signing class. You look at it. Logan Schmidt's gone. Jensen Hurstcorn's gone. Wesley Roberson's gone. Spencer Evans is gone. Dylan Blomker's gone. Will Adams is gone. And I think Anthony Murphy is going to move on as well. Then you've got those guys that I mentioned with Guidry being picked, with Garcia being picked, with Sheeran being picked. Those guys will move on. So you're going to free up enough with the DSRs to have enough room on that roster. LSU will have more than the 34, and they'll have room for that. So I don't anticipate some sort of massive cut sweep coming. It looked at one point like Evans and Adams were going to show up, and then they got picked later. So it looked like your numbers were going to be tight. I don't see that as a problem at this point. If there do need to be some actions taken, that'll probably be something that happens in the next 2 weeks or Christmas. So, again, I don't think there's going to be an issue, but if there is, that'll happen in the next 2 weeks. Somebody will have a chance to go somewhere else, whether it's JUCO or be released from their letter of intent, or Christmas, where you find a new home there. So, great day, great weekend for LSU baseball on multiple levels, with the high-end guys getting paid, and with the signing class really remaining intact. If you missed my comments on the signing class, top of the show, 30 minutes. I gave it to you for 2 segments, so you can check that out on demand. Just search Hunt Palmer Show, and you can catch the first 30 minutes of the show, all LSU signing class related. We'll step aside, close out the show. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com. Check out the website. So user-friendly, so easy to navigate. The entire inventory is online at FabryChevrolet.com. It's the way you can search to narrow things down. We live in a click society, right? Well, go, if you're looking for a new car, search by new cars. If you're just looking for pre-owned vehicles, search by pre-owned. Maybe there's a make and model that you're set on. You want to see what they've got in store with those. They've got them. Maybe you're looking at mileage on a pre-owned car. Maybe you're looking at pricing. You can set that as well. And every single car that meets your criteria on the site is just served up right to you. You can check it out, then go up to Highway 61 in St. Francisville, take a test drive, and experience that wonderful customer service that you get from Fabry Chevrolet GMC every single time. Again, that website's FabryChevrolet.com. They're on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. FabryChevrolet.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at ReliefWindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Another roof gone too soon.
Looks like neglect. There's no doubt about it. This is a case of poor installation.
At Pelican Roofing, we don't guess. We investigate to find the real cause of your roof's problems. Call Pelican Roofing for your free roof investigation today.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Guarantee Health Solutions, they're guiding healthcare forward. You can find them online at GuaranteeHealth.com. That's GuaranteeHealth.com. If you're in the healthcare space, how much do you think about your digital footprint? How much do you think about your website? How much do you think about digital advertising? How much do you think about traditional advertising? Your brand awareness? These are not things that are top of mind because you're busy handling your medical practice. Well, Guarantee Health Solutions is here to do that. That's what Rachel Fricke and her team can do. It's one of the many things they can do. They can also help train your staff to better make your efficiency increase over at your healthcare practice, whether you're a hospital, whether you're a dental practice, urgent care, private practice, no matter what. The folks at Guarantee Health Solutions can help you digitally to improve your brand, to improve how many clicks to care. It's all there at Guarantee Health Solutions. They're online at GuaranteeHealth.com. That's GuaranteeHealth.com. They bring you our Monday shows each and every week. All right, I guess take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave
believe it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, Hunt. Well, LeBron is going to Ohio. Well,
it's going to be a Justin LeBron Indians thing, Guardians thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Justin LeBron, the shortstop who played at the University of Alabama, who was drafted 18th by the Cincinnati Reds in the 2026 MLB draft. So, is this a little foreshadowing to the real LeBron going back to the Cavs? Take it or leave it?
I'll take it probably. I was texting my buddy who loves the Reds. I said, you just took a guy that hit 220 in SEC play with like 27 strikeouts and 8 walks. He's like, oh, great. I'm sure the metal bat was holding him back was the line I got from my buddy. LeBron did not have a great year. This is a guy who, after his freshman season 2 years ago, people were legitimately thinking might be the number 1 pick in this past draft. He just did not play well this year. He's a freak athlete. He's got huge talent, big tools. He can play defense, but he just struck out too much, didn't hit for a high average. They got to Omaha, which was pretty impressive, but he did not have the year he wanted. Let's see what the slot was for Justin LeBron here, because the slot at the top is north of $10 million at about $11 million, and Justin LeBron's slot was at 4.7. So still a nice payday, but not quite what we thought it might be.
All right, so Baltimore Ravens star quarterback Lamar Jackson experienced quite the fall in the annual NFL's Network's Top 100 Players list. The veteran quarterback came in at number 2 in 2025 and tumbled all the way down to 69 heading into the 2026 season. So is Lamar Jackson the 69th best player in the NFL? Take it or leave it?
I'll leave that real quick. I've watched a lot of Bengals-Ravens in my my last 5 years of action.
Yes.
And he is nowhere near the 69th player. He is way better than that. He is a nightmare to deal with. And the thing is that, like, when you watch him, I don't think his age right now is going to be a big problem, because he doesn't necessarily use his speed to, like, run away from cornerbacks.
Got like RG3 back.
He just kind of moves where he needs to move and then beats you throwing the ball. Like, he's just an awesome player. He's really frustrating to play against whenever I'm pulling for the Bengals. And he's not trying to win with his legs in a foot race. He's trying to use his legs to better produce throws with his arm. He's really good, and he's 69 is ridiculous.
Okay, because even though Lamar Jackson had, a little bit of a down year last year because of injuries, but we can all agree that 69 for Lamar Jackson is absolutely ludicrous. Ridiculous. And one thing that you brought up, a good point about him running and moving around, that Jimmy also brought this to my attention. Lamar Jackson doesn't take a lot of big hits. Like, to say he runs around a lot, you don't really see him get hit. He does a very good job at getting out of bounds and taking care of himself. It's just, I don't know, man. 69, I saw that. Like, oh, no, we got to talk about that for this one. So Tom Brady came up with a unique analogy for why wide receivers tend to be more animated and outspoken about their roles in NFL offenses. So he appeared on the New Heights podcast with Travis Swift and Jason Kelsey. Brady said this about receiver drama: "I swear to God, it's deja vu. I've been seeing the same bleep since 2000 when I came into the league. It's like the Real Housewives of the NFL." So is Brady right? The NFL's a never-ending soap opera. Take it or leave it.
Take that, for sure.
I'll take it.
Yeah, wide receiver is interesting because, like, the shortstop always gets to hit. He just gets to hit when his time's up. They give the ball to running backs. The quarterback gets the ball in every play. There's no basketball team that's got a dude that gets 25 points a night that just can't get his hands on the ball.
Facts.
But sometimes wide receivers, like, don't get the ball. Like, they can't really control that. So that's what triggers the massive amount of reactions. It's the most dynamic position we have in American sports that oftentimes gets neglected because you have to get them the ball. So it's it's a combination of the personalities in the position that's a ticking time bomb. But yes, the NFL is a soap opera. That's a fact.
So when you think about it, is there like a certain personality type for these great wide receivers? Because a lot of the great wide receivers, you see the same type of issues going on with.
Is there a type that I would prefer?
I mean, I guess like a Larry Fitzgerald. Yeah, I'm about to say Larry
Fitzgerald.
Calvin Johnson, one of those guys.
Yeah, he's quiet.
This is quiet and doesn't. But it's like the odds you get one of those guys, you're gonna get one of these fiery personalities. You're gonna get a Malik Neighbors. You're gonna get a Antonio Brown. You're gonna get one of those guys.
No, you will not get an Antonio. You can get a Malik Neighbors. You will not get an Antonio Brown. That's a one of one. That's a unique situation. Nobody.
He's a case study. He's his own case study.
That dude ripped his jersey off and just left.
Deuces.
That dude. What happened to him?
I mean,
there's a video of him having a conversation in the locker room before the CTE like destroyed, and he was like a normal guy. And then all of a sudden,
I know you're talking about the interview.
Something happened, and like something flipped in his head, and it was just over.
Oh, we know what it was. The hit against the Bengals when he got hit in that playoff game.
My
the Bengals,
word,
the Jeremy
that guy's
Hill
off
game.
his rocker. Yeah,
Jeremy
off
Hill
his rocker.
So that's it for Take It or Leave It.
All right, that's it for Take It or Leave It. I have got a lot of content on LouisianaSports.net right now. We had our draft tracker up. Appreciate y'all for following along. I wrote a draft review last night that you can go check out for free at LouisianaSports.net. This morning, I wrote 3 things for the roster moving forward in 2027. And then today, I wrote a column on how I think that NIL has kind of changed things. Joe Doyle, who we had on last week from Overslot, rough numbers, 72 less high schoolers went this year than normal. That's more than 10% of the draft. And so it's amazing that NIL, revenue sharing, and the ability to just develop in college has pushed kids to the college game and away from the minor league ranks. And it was very obvious, and LSU really capitalized on that. So if you want to read any of those about the change in the draft, LSU's team moving forward, or just my reaction to the draft as a whole, it's all there for free at LouisianaSports.net. You can find it on the homepage right now, but you can also click on teams, LSU, and LSU baseball, and you can find all of that there. You can listen to what I had to say about LSU's draft class in the first 30 minutes of the show today. We also had Cooper Sides, big right-hander, on at 2 o'clock. Appreciate him for making some time with us. We also talked some Saints, Eric McCoy at center. How important is that? I told you. You can find that on demand at Hunt on Saints. Appreciate Guarantee Health Solutions for jumping aboard, being part of our Monday shows. That's it for us. Guess what? Matt's back. Off for a couple of weeks. He's back to drive you home next. We're back tomorrow. Same time, same place for a Tuesday edition.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First, let me tell you about the Highland Insurance Group. They're online at HighlandIG.com. That is HighlandIG.com. And Jonathan Carbo is awesome at what he does. I was talking to him last week, and there are just a lot of businesses in the state of Louisiana that are feeling the pain of benefits. They're feeling the pain of paying for that health insurance for their employees. You want to make sure your employees and their families are taken care of from a perspective of their health care, their dental, their vision, all that. But it's just hard to pay for. I can't promise you the Highland Insurance Group is a silver bullet that's just going to knock 20% off your costs. What I can promise you is that Jonathan Carbo and his team will sit down and talk to you, and that they are capable of offering a second solution. They know that rates are increasing. They're an independent broker. They've got contracts with multiple carriers. They can look to make sure that you're getting a second option to see if what you're paying is the right market value. If not, you can switch. That's what they promise to you at the Highland Insurance Group. You can find them online at HighlandIG.com. It's the Highland Insurance Group. They're online at HighlandIG.com.